Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on when you are listening to this. I am Dr. Jacob Larson, and you're listening to my draft pages. This podcast is a show about the business of writing. The problem is, I have no business talking about this because I don't know how to make money as a writer. I'm a college professor, and I looked around and I realized, even though it's not necessarily my job description to teach my students how to make money with writing, I really would like to know. I think it would help them out. So that's what this project is. This project is me trying to figure out, how do you make money as a writer in this world today? So here we are. Welcome to the show. If you aren't familiar with me, I do have a Substack, a free Substack, the weekly newsletter that goes out that lines up with this podcast. I did a little bit of work this last week. I got the podcast out on all the major streaming platforms. So you can go to Apple, you can go to Spotify, Amazon, all the places. So if you're looking for the show draft pages, you can find it now. It's the one that's got a picture of me on it. And you'll be able to find the show. I've got other things planned in the future, which we'll talk about at a later date, but I invite you, please subscribe to the Substack. It's Jacob Lauritsen, JacobLauritzen.substack.com. And you can follow along this journey and this experiment. But this isn't nearly as fun unless I'm hearing what you're up to. So I would love for you to tell me, what are the things you're doing? What are the strategies that are working as you start your or successfully continue your writing businesses? I'd love to know. All right. So I'm going to give you some updates, but I've got a topic I want to talk about today, and that is believing in what you write. This is the problem I'm running into right now. I'm about halfway, maybe a little over halfway, on writing a book. This first project, I want to start writing a book a month for the foreseeable future. I hope to be able to do this for a year. We'll see. I've got lots of plans. Just off screen, if you're looking at the video, I've got a board here with a bunch of books planned out. We'll see how far we get. Maybe we get through all of them. I don't know. We'll find out. But right now, I'm working on a book called Co-Teaching with Robots, Being Human in the AI-Assisted Classroom. The idea being, there's a lot of cool things that AI can do that can help teachers out. We need to figure out the balance between bringing the best version of ourselves, the human, to the classroom, while leveraging AI to be able to take care of the other things, to make it easier for us to focus on our students. So that's the goal for the project. The big announcement is I have launched the pre-order on Amazon. So right now, live as of this morning, you can pre-order the ebook, and as soon as Amazon finishes, dotting their I's and crossing their T's, you can also pre-order the paperback and the hardback versions of the book. I'm new to this pre-order process, so I've been surprised how long it's taken to get everything approved, because I submitted it days ago. I'm recording this on the 7th of February. This will go out, well, the video might come out later today, but my Substack will go out Sunday morning, and maybe everything will be out by then. I don't know. My launch date is going to be about 6 weeks away, on March 25th. That's when the book goes live. It's going to be available to order on all those 3 platforms. Plus, if you're on Kindle Unlimited, it'll be on Kindle Unlimited. So you can just read it there and check it out. Right now, the plan is to have it a little bit over 100 pages. And I'm really enjoying the process right now. I'm sitting around 70-something pages. Some of them are some pictures. But, I'm making lots of progress. Need to write, 30, 40 more pages in the next couple weeks. And then I need some beta readers. If you are interested in taking a look at the not quite published version of the book, please contact me, email me at jacob@jacoblarson.com, and I'd love to make you part of the group. I plan on doing books every month, so I need some feedback. I need a great group of beta readers. So if you're interested in being part of the process, I would love to have you involved. Okay, so that's a big announcement that's going on. I may share some of the other things I've been thinking about lately, but let's get into our topic. Okay, so one of the problems I've been running into is just my nature. Maybe this is my ADHD brain. I don't know. It's hard for me to stick to one project for an extended period of time. And it's not that I can't finish big things. I've finished lots of big things, right? But especially for my creative projects, I like bouncing around. I like doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So even working on this project, sometimes I know I need to write, and it's like, I gotta get myself to focus, but maybe I can work on the cover instead. Or maybe I can work on my website to promote this. Or maybe they're all related to the project, but I'm jumping around. I was hoping to be a little bit farther in the process. Right now, I'm sitting at around 11,000 words for the book. I ended last week maybe around 8. So it's not as much progress as I made week 1. But like I said, up to about 70-ish pages with formatting and everything. I did get some more chapters written. I plan on making some more progress. And once I've got a good core base, I want to go through and just do a good rewrite to make everything sing together, right? But it was really, really hard for me to go ahead and launch the pre-order and to just have faith that the project's going to be successful, to kind of commit to doing this over and over again for a year. So here's what I'm hoping to do, and plans change. Something may happen. I may fail, but right now the plan is I will launch this book in March, and I want to launch a book every month from March 2025 through February 2026. That's the current plan. Right now, all of them are some version of nonfiction, at least one poetry memoir, as well as some other projects. Hopefully at the end of all this, I'm going to share a book on this whole process. That's going to kind of be made up of some of the newsletters that I'm sending out, plus some other thoughts and feelings. So I've got big plans. There's lots of things I've been working on, and it's really hard to commit to this, just knowing how much I've already struggled in like week 2 and 3 of working on this book. Like, can I really commit to doing this? Do I really want to promote something that I'm not done with yet? Do I really want people to be able to see if I fail? And so I went for a walk earlier this week, and I was walking around, and I'm just like, okay, this is going to be my newsletter for the week. Believe in what you write. Believe in what you write. It doesn't do any good to doubt yourself. Obviously, it doesn't mean we need to indulge ourselves in unrealistic thinking. That's not what I'm saying. But there is a difference between doubting yourself and being pragmatic. They're not the same thing. You can be pragmatic. You can come up with a good strategy. You can work hard. You can promote yourself and understand why things don't always work out. But more important than that, you will never get that opportunity if you don't first believe in what you're writing. If you don't first believe in yourself. And that is something I'm currently struggling with. I if you've ever watched sports, I'm not that sort of competitive person that I could actually know that I'm going up against some juggernaut team that is just way better than me. They have so many more wins, and actually enter a game like that and believe I'm going to beat them. Like, I watch these games, I'm like, do they really think that? And if you hear these athletes and other competitors talk, they're like, yeah, no, I believe it. And statistically, you'd look at it and it's like, well, you must be crazy. You're not looking at the numbers I'm looking at. But that's not it. You can't be in that field. You can't be in that occupation of professional sports if you don't believe you're going to win every time you play. Because if you don't believe it, I mean, how can you actually compete when it's difficult? And so I'm thinking about that mentality right now. Can I take on a mentality where, one, I believe in myself? It's hard in our society because we don't like bragging about ourselves. It comes off as being conceited or something. But I think I'm genuinely a pretty decent writer. And it's not something I haven't worked on. I've worked on this for decades. But I think there's some things I do pretty well. I hope you feel the same way too. As I've started to share some of the poems I've been working on, I share some on the Shorts channel for my YouTube channel, draft pages. I've shared a couple of those poems so far. I share it with some of my students. I'm getting great responses. And that really encourages me. It makes me feel like, yeah, I'm doing something that people can relate to, that they can tap into, and that's exciting. I was sharing some of this book that I was writing with one of my older students. He's older than me. And he had great things to say. He said it's going to be a bestseller. And I appreciate it. You know, there's the part of me that's like, yeah, well, what do you know? That's the doubting side of me that's like, yeah, but it's the right mentality. Of course it's going to be successful. Of course it's going to do well. I can believe in my project without being unrealistic. It makes sense on paper. People, especially right, so this first book, it's about AI in education. It's very practical. It's research based, has good advice. I think I have some good personalized stories. That all makes sense. Of course it should do well. And as I'm reading it, I'm pretty happy with a lot of it. Of course it should do well. My biggest fear, though, is I am not good enough at sharing what I'm doing. My marketing skills will not be able to leverage it effectively to get it out in front of people. And I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to get better, but that's hard for me. That's really hard for me. And maybe that's hard for you too. But I'm trying to believe. I'm trying to believe in my process. I'm trying to believe in what I've read and studied. The last couple months, I was digging deep into marketing and just trying to understand, how do you get your stuff out in front of people? And that's why I'm doing this podcast, this newsletter. I enjoy this stuff, but it's meant to share what I know, to promote what I'm doing, to be an example. I was telling myself before I started all this, I can fail, and the story that I'm sharing is still valuable. And that's true. Right now, the numbers do not suggest that I've been incredibly successful so far. I've released several newsletters. There's not a whole lot of people subscribed yet, but hopefully that continues to keep going up. I've launched this podcast and YouTube channel. Not a lot of subscribers yet, but I'm trying to be consistent to post weekly. But that doesn't mean that what I'm sharing isn't valuable. It doesn't mean that what I'm sharing won't help you, that it won't help me. But when you're a data-driven person, it's really nice to see the validation. And it's really hard to be patient and to believe when the numbers suggest something different. But again, back to that athlete's mentality. The athletes can look at the numbers, but still know, I can match up with this problem. I have the skills. I have a good plan in place. If I execute, I'll be successful. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to execute. I'm trying to make this valuable for you, valuable for me. And it requires me to constantly push up against my comfort zone of motivating myself. This is something I've been very interested in for years, and it's probably because, in part, motivation is hard for everyone. It's particularly difficult for me, not because I can't be motivated, but because my motivations are all over the place, probably because of my ADHD brain. And maybe you deal with similar problems. Maybe you deal with anxiety or depression or those things that just make it difficult to execute on a plan. Faith doesn't mean you know the end. In fact, you can't know the end if it's faith. I'm trying to have faith. I'm trying to believe that what I'm doing is going to be successful, that what I've been up to is going to work. And all indications are that, it totally can, as long as I don't give up. Which means, as long as I can keep motivating myself, it's bound to find success sometime. Is that how you feel? Is that how you feel as you work on big projects? Do you ever feel just like, I don't know if I can do this? Maybe we can learn something from sports. Take on that mentality that I can still do this. I could be successful. I can make all this happen. And even if I fail the first time and the second time and the third time, and however many times it takes, I can be successful still. But maybe it just means we need to constantly reevaluate. And that's kind of how I feel about launching this pre-order. It may not work well. It may completely fall flat on its face. Maybe only my family and friends will buy the book, and I hope it's valuable to them if they do. But I think it could be valuable for anyone who's teaching right now, and anyone who's at least interested in understanding the potential of AI, or works with people, or works in leadership. There's something in there for all of those people. So why can't it be successful? For my graduation, with my doctorate, our guest speaker was Lisa Leslie. You may be familiar with her. She's a legend in the WNBA. She's very tall. She stayed on stage to shake our hands as we came across, and she's a lot taller than me, and I think she was probably wearing heels too, which very tall. But she grew up in Compton, California, and her graduation speech that she gave was, why not me? If I work hard, if I develop the skills, if I try, it doesn't matter that I'm from Compton or I don't come from money or any of those things that can make it difficult for us to succeed in sports or in anything else. Why not me? Someone's got to be successful. Why not me? If I go out and write this book and put it out there and just keep working at it, why not me? Why can't I be the one who's successful? Why not you? Why can't you be the one to succeed where others have failed? Why not you? Why can't you be the one to succeed even when you failed in the past? I keep telling myself the value of this book that I'm writing doesn't expire after the first week or the second week or even the first or second or third year. I can always update the book later based on new updates to the technology, but the core of the book is the same. Education hasn't changed just because technology has opened up new opportunities. Education is still about people teaching people. Excuse me, and that's what I explain in the book. So it may take time for it to catch on. It may never catch on, but it could. So why not me? Why not you? Why not us? Those are my thoughts and feelings for this week. I hope that that's helpful. I hope that's encouraging, because that's what we need. We really need to be able to believe. We need to be able to be encouraged and inspired and to think that, yeah, this could totally work. Even when it's failed and we look at the numbers and we're just like, it hasn't worked yet, it doesn't mean it won't. Let's find a new way to express this, to market this, to communicate the value of this project. Why not me? Why not you? Why not us? We can do it. Thank you for listening. I hope that that was helpful. Again, if you want to be able to read these ideas and follow along with my weekly newsletter, please check out my Substack. It's free at jacoblarson.substack.com. And you can follow here on the YouTube channel or your favorite podcast app. I hope that this helps you out and finds you well. Thank you for listening. I want to hear what you're working on. I want to build a community of people so we can support each other. So let's do it. Why not me? Why not you? Why not us? Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.
In the quiet of the night, words take flight, imagine might. Stories clash and visions grow. In this world the tales overflow. Draft pages of dreams conspire, building empires from the empire.